we've heard a lot about health, a lot about technology, and a lot about choices. And so I want to ask you a question. And what does it mean to build technology for people who live in the gray areas? People whose lives aren't tidy or linear or easy to predict. We talk a lot about all the things coming up with AI. It's going to be built for healthcare or for workplace or even to change our identities. But there is a quieter, more urgent question, and that is, who are we building for and who's being left out? So I'm here to talk to you today about what it means to build human-centered AI for those people that live on the margins. Those with disabilities and chronic health conditions and mental illness, those historically left out of these conversations on health and how to fix it. So many people may see me on stage, I look put together, and that I'm ready to be here and talk. I do look put together, and I do a really good job in my work. I have spoken globally on these topics. I have advised Fortune 500 companies. I've helped shift policy. I show up, I do a good job. But there's something that you may not know, and that's the fact that I live with bipolar disorder, anorexia, and chronic health conditions that have almost killed me more times than I can count. I have been hospitalized 5 times. I live with psychosis sometimes. I have had to have electroconvulsive therapy. I have had to have more treatments than I can share with you, that it's just hard to find the right one. I share this with you not because I want you to feel sorry for me. And I share it because I want you to know I'm not speaking on behalf of those who struggle. I am someone who struggles. But I'm also someone who leads, who builds, who creates, who gets things done. And I want to share how we can help make that a reality for so many other people. I have learned to live between that tension between breakdown and brilliance, between being invisible and visible, between being seen as high functioning and completely ignored when I'm not. And for me, I see the biggest barrier isn't the illness. It's the misrecognition. It is the idea that for someone like me to be valuable, we first have to be fixed. But we don't have to be fixed to be valuable. Lived experience isn't a flaw in the system, it is a compass. We know what it's like to map systems under pressure. We understand risk assessment. We are doing all of these things in our head all the time. We are the people who understand the parts of your algorithms that they just can't track. And really this means that lived experience is a form of intelligence that you cannot afford to leave out. We are your R&D advisors, your UX and accessibility coaches, your trust builders, your brand credibility allies. We are the people who can take complex stories and make them into connection. We know how to navigate those gray areas. So I want to zoom out. Many times, and we've seen it here a lot, we talk about what's called the medical model. And with this model, we talk a lot about deficits, disorders, cures. We ask, what's wrong with you and how can we fix it? But there's another model that we're forgetting, and that's what's called the social model of disability. In this model, we look at the systems and the structures and the pieces around us where we ask, what's wrong with those, and how can we adjust those so that we can all thrive? If someone in a wheelchair can't get in the building, the problem isn't the stairs, or isn't their legs, it is the stairs. So that's the social model of disability. And when we're designing and training data, this is even more important to remember and can make a profound impact on our collective future. You say that you're building for human thriving, but if you're only building for one kind of thriving, this one size fits all, then you're not building human-centered design, you are building norm-centered design. And if your models can't hold difference with dignity, then really, we're not ready for the future. What happens when we don't build AI for all humans? That's when you get biased algorithms that flag disability as risk, systems and wellness tools that treat difference as deviance, data tracking that can turn into surveillance, systems that pathologize instead of partner, and products that can optimize some of us right out of existence. And I want to talk about a really hard truth, and that's the fact that a lot of us with lived experience in disability and mental illness are scared right now. We are scared to disclose. We are scared to be labeled. We are scared of existing. Because some of us do want that support. Some of us do want a cure. We have to remember that some of us also just want to exist in the way that they want to live. So when we build through only the medical model, it assumes that people like me are a problem to solve. But really, we are the solution. And when we adopt the social model lens in addition, and we keep that in mind, we start to ask these different questions, like, how could we accommodate nonlinear healing? How might we recognize intelligence and productivity in forms that aren't rational or consistent? How might AI help to remove stigma instead of amplifying it? So as of 2020, I know this is 5 years ago now, but only 56% of companies actually tested their products for accessibility and usability with people with disabilities. We are not missing data, we are ignoring it. And if we're only building for a fraction of people who can safely live in it. And the truth is, AI has the potential to scale really not just innovation, but empathy. It can help us listen better and design better, support better. We have heard that through so many presentations throughout this wonderful conference. And when we bring in lived experience and people with lived experience to help us with that process, not simply as test subjects or case studies, but as co-designers, as leaders, as part of the team, we build technology that is more accessible, more trustworthy, really more representative, and more human. Over $8 trillion in spending is held by the disability community. And if we're not building with them in mind, someone else will. They have the ability to be your fiercest brand champions and your most loyal customers. So here's what I recommend when it comes to bringing in lived experience and keeping that in mind. We want to hire people with lived experience early in the R&D process. Build diverse teams where people with lived experience aren't tokenized, but a valued member of the team. Redefine product market fit to also include social and emotional fit. And measure not just for ROI, but for recognition and repair. Most importantly, I want us to remember to let go of the idea that innovation is about fixing people. Because true innovation expands what's possible for everyone. You don't need to live through the things I've lived through to understand this. There are millions of people whose experiences are being left out of this process, but they don't have to be. This is your invitation. Build with us, not around us. Nothing about us without us is more than a slogan. It is a call to partnership. And I really believe that when technology isn't seen as something that needs to fix us, it can be something that frees us. So I'm so glad you're here. Make space, share power, and you can build something that we haven't built before. Thank you.